In this activity, we're going to take the house or the cabin that we've made, and we are going to be importing it into an animation software application. So first thing you want to do is save it as a different file so that we can throw a lot of this away. So I'm going to go ahead and save it as a different name. So I'll go to Save As. I just save this. You guys will save it to your T drive. Save it someplace and save it. And then what you want to do, let's get rid of all this, everything but the house. And we can keep those tags in there, I guess. That'll be fine. And let's look at it three-dimensionally. We have our house. Okay. So then go ahead and save it. Save as. Make sure you have it correctly. Alright, once we have our house done, we're going to open up a software application called 3ds Max. So once you get 3ds Max open, find the link and go ahead and open it up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to import the house. So we go to File, Import, and we want to, on the file type, select an AutoCAD drawing, not the legacy, but the AutoCAD drawing, and go ahead and find the file. So go ahead and open it up. Alright, now a couple important things. When this file opens up, we're essentially importing into a brand new software application. So let's go ahead and put 1 here for the smooth angle, and I think that's all we probably need to know right now. So we'll go ahead and say open. Alright, and there it is. So the way that this application works, this is a high-end animation software application, but we're just going to play around with it. If you look on the bottom right of your screen here, you will see that you have your 4 views. So wherever your mouse is in is the view. Okay. Now the other thing you can do is in this view here, for example, let's go back to this front view. If I right click on it, view, smooth and highlights, you can see everything. And I can scroll in and out. Let's go with the big one, and if you look here on the next icon, I can scroll around it. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little movie on this. Alright, so let's go to the 4 views, and I have a zoom option here. I'm going to zoom out. Let's go to my top view here to zoom out of everything. Haven't done this in a while, so be patient with Mr. Smith here. Let's go to, okay, so we're going to go to, alright, we clicked the next one over to blinds. We're going to do click circle. I'm going to go right on top of my house on the top view. I'm going to make a circle. Okay. Probably want to make it a little bigger. Let's make that a little bigger. Oh, what the heck, we'll leave that. Then I'm going to hit my escape key. That function is done. I'm going to grab this circle, right click, and say move. And if you see here on the left view, I'm going to move it up. Alright. And then I'm going to go here to my camera. I'm going to push target. I'm going to drop it down here in the left view, and I'm going to point it right at my house. And then I'm going to go to motion control here, and be patient again with Mr. Smith, assign controller, position, question mark, and I'm going to select path constraint. Is that right? Path constraint, okay. And add path, select the circle, and we should be good here. Let's push play, see what happens. Okay, come in this angle, push play. Alright, you'll see that thing. Now type C for camera and push play. Alright, and then what we can do is we can take our circle and we can scale it, make it bigger if we want. That's my camera. Let's scale. Not sure if I can do this at this point. There we go. And I can always move this around and push play. Alright, and that is the completion of the exercise on 3ds Max. In this activity we're going to take our imported structure in 3ds Max and we're going to make a ground level and then add some textures and make a small movie clip. So first thing we want to do is find the standard primitives and select plane, and in the top view make sure the house is pretty small, zoom in, zoom out, make it fit, and put a plane on there. And then we're going to take the select object, which is already selected, and if you see at the top the material editor, go ahead and select the material editor and you'll see a little sphere that says get material. Go ahead and select the material. Now the material that you want is actually inside of your computer, and what I've done is on the server put a link to the material. So look for on the server the material library shortcut, and I have it on my C drive, which is also in your C drive with the application. So what you want to do is type in T and find the shortcut in the AutoCAD file folder. Okay, once you find the file, your icons will look different than mine, but the 3ds Max, architectural, doors and windows, these are all items that you can work with. There's metals, there's all sorts of different type of materials. So let's go ahead and we can play around with these. We can default to 3ds Max. These are from the architectural, so we can click on one of those and you'll see all sorts of different, there's gravel. I'm just going to go ahead and push gravel. And what you want to do with any of these, there's sand, let's do grass. Alright, what you want to do then is you want to take it and you essentially want to drag the icon and put it on your material editor, and this way when you save your work you don't have to go find it later, so it'll always be there. And once you have it on, you go ahead and drop it onto the plane, and then you can do other things. For example, let's say we want to add some wood. You can also do this with an Autodesk, is put the materials, but let's go ahead and find some different materials. Architectural finishes, let's try that one. Let's see what we can find here. Let's see if we can find a roof. Okay, so here's some wood, a wood plank. Let's just try this. This is flooring. May not be the best. You can just mess around with it. I'm going to go ahead and drop it on. It's already there, so let's go ahead and find a different one also. Let's try architectural materials, see what this is. I think we already tried this. Let's try woods. Okay, carpentry wood, oak. And really do whatever you want to play around with. Okay, once you get some materials selected, I'm going to just apply them to the house. So if you're in the camera mode, you can't, if you notice, if you want to do an orbit, it's locked. What you can do is select and do views, perspective, alright, and that unlocks it. Alright, so there's that one. I'm going to go apply. There are shingles in terms of the materials. Once you find them, there's all sorts of different materials, but to make this go faster, we'll do this. Let's select, I think this was the oak. We'll do that on the other side there. Roof done. Alright, so I don't have a floor, but you get the idea here. So then let's just do a quick little, let's make our image bigger, push play. Now I have to, right now I'm in perspective view, so let's go ahead and the other thing, if you want to, you can also select your materials. Doors, you can add different materials. If I wanted to, you can select every single item this way, but I'm going to be happy with this for now, so I saved it. Save. Now let's go ahead and in the perspective, all I have to do is select C. Let's see if it says it's here. There it is, camera 1. Alright, and push play, see what happens. Okay, it's spinning around. Now the other thing I can do, if I want to select a better view, I could adjust my camera. A couple different ways you can do it. You can select the camera and go to modify, and if you notice here, these are lenses. We see about a 35mm lens is typical for what we see. 15mm will give you more of a fisheye 200 millimeter is more like a zoom. Find something that works. The other thing we can do obviously is we can make this, I can take my ring, move it a little higher, different view. I can also right click and scale it, make it a little bigger. That's my ground. But so there's different ways. And then the other thing I can do is, if you see the front view, you notice the camera, the point of the camera isn't where I want it to be. So I can select it, and I should be able to right click and go move, and just move the point of it. Okay, so this is probably going to work out a little better. And this is just a real quick. And I can change if I want to, for example, if I want this is 100 frames per second. I can change that by going to the timer, and let's make it, instead of 100 frames, let's make it 400 frames. Okay, so now that it's changed, so when I push play, alright, it goes around more. We don't want to get too carried away here, but let's go ahead and make a rendering. So I'm going to set up a rendering. Small version is 320 by 240. Now the unfortunate thing is higher resolution takes longer to render. Let's just do a small one. And when you do this, you want to do files, render output files. We're going to go ahead and create a AVI file. Okay, and save this on your T drive. I'm going to just call this, this is actually cabin. Okay, cabin movie. And what we want to do is make sure we select an AVI format on this. Push save. We want to compress this a little bit. Okay, now that 400 frames might have been too much, but let's go ahead and then we're going to do a small movie, or I'll do a little larger one because I can pause this and look at this. Now we don't want to do single. That would be just an image, so we want to do range here. Let's do active segment. Actually, let's just go from 0 to 100. But if I want to do a longer movie, I do that. And then all I do here is say render. And this is, we see this is the camera. And we're going to do a quick little rendering. Okay. Now, whoa, that grass looks funky. I can change all this later, the scale of it. Let it go ahead and render. Alright, and that is essentially the end of the exercise. So what you want to do at this point is save it, and I'm going to change this grass. Okay, so I paused, I canceled the video. I'm going to do another material because I saw that I didn't like that glass here. So open, let's try this thermal. I thought I saw some good here. Yeah, and here's shingles, all sorts of things, siding. So actually this is probably a better material to use. So I can put that down here, put it on my material, and again put it over. And the other thing is let's try the Spanish red tile. Let's go ahead and put that over here, and let's drop that on the grass. Alright, now what we can also do before we do a rendering, we can do a quick rendering like this. Let's do this time, instead of doing, let's do a single, and let's do a files, let's do a single JPEG file. JPEG file, save. Alright. And then I can go ahead and select render, and that gives me a quick little item. So again, you really just need to do trial and error here and find something that you like. And that is the end of the exercise on applying textures and creating a small movie and a JPEG image.